Now, for our last speaker series, we have Mr. Zikry Kholil, the co-founder and global executive officer of Incitement Global.
Yeah, the energy is kind of low now. Could you guys do me a favor and just give a quick high five to the person next to you? It's a really cool way to lighten up the mood and random high fives. This is a random high five. Yeah. Don't be shy. It's just a high five. We're not dancing or anything. So hello guys. First of all, I'd like to say thank you all for having me. Thank you Digi for inviting me. Very honored to be here, and there's a lot of you guys. I hope you all feel inspired tonight or this evening. So let me introduce them again. My name is Zikry Kholil, Malaysian, but raised abroad because my parents were diplomats. Came back here, and I actually started something because out of frustration. Though I know I was informed the theme today will be about tech for good, so I'll get to the tech part. But if you don't mind me, let me share you a bit of my story. Is that okay? Yes or yes? Yes. All right, awesome. So, who wants to change the world? Seriously? No hands? Seriously? Who wants to change the world? Literally, who wants to change the world? There's a lot. Say yes. Yes. Okay. And how do you start changing the world? Anybody? Shout it out loud. It starts with the people. Now, I know everyone gets really carried away with tech, and it's amazing. But without people, there would be no tech. And look, I've heard amazing stories about the Digi culture here, the intense amount of talent you guys have. And this is what really started with how I kicked off with this movement called Incitement. Anyone knows the meaning of incitement? It literally means to provoke someone to do something. Now, the media uses the word incitement in a very negative way. You see headlines like Taliban inciting children up in arms. It's very negative. It's been used negative. So why can't we use the word incitement to incite people to do positive things, right? So what happened to me was I was in a really also kick-ass working place, and I realized all my colleagues here were really inspirational. They had amazing things to share every single day, books that they've read. And I thought, why not get it together again like this, a bunch of beanbags, and you come on stage and share to our colleagues here who would like to join us to share a piece of their story, So, and I give them a mission, and that mission will be trying to inspire the hell out of them and get them to take action. And I think that's been missing all the time. And when I go to talks that's like 45-minute keynote with a Q&A and a bit of networking section, I think what's missing is action. We don't action enough. We talk a lot, but we don't action enough. So that's exactly how it started. And I see a lot of people feeling they want to do something. And then what happened was me and my co-founder thought, let's upgrade this to another next level. And I can show you, this is a picture of our first ever Incitement gathering here in Kuala Lumpur about 5 years ago. And we kept making sure the experience itself will cater you from A to B. So that means information translate into transformation. Take action. And again, everybody as a user is always craving for some kind of unique experience, right? Yes or yes? Exactly, right? Even with the smartphone, from any kind of technology. It's the same thing when you gather people together. People forget that people are coming here not just to listen, but what else can they get? And that keyword here is experience. So we made it in a way, when you come to an Incitement talk, again, it's not your usual 45-minute keynote. It's very inspiring. It's like going to a concert, engaging, and people are just sharing and appreciating one another. Actually, it's literally designed to make you cry and reflect on things that you want to do. And we channel that moment of you reflecting on taking some actionable steps. How? We channel you to projects that are doing amazing impact, like H2O, for example. Amazing things that they're doing, right? The thing is, we're connecting you from a fear awareness, things that have started from the grassroots. And going back to my story, fast forward 1 year, we grew really fast in Malaysia. And now we're pretty much in 45 countries, fast forward in 2016. And we started even crowdsourcing big speakers. Like, anyone into poetry slam or spoken words, maybe? Not really the art kind of people, but it's okay. Oh, I see one, yay! Woohoo, Sharon Stone, right? Yeah, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so we crowdsource people. We crowdsource speakers to come down and share with the Malaysian people. And we even let them share the platform with our local talents. So again, it's the same concept. By the end of the day, our main goal here is to transform your inspiration into taking action. Now, I'll just show a bit of photos that wherever Incitement is happening. We have had one in Ipoh. We're quite big in Jordan. And all of them were just movement-based. You know, I was just doing this because I want to help people. I want to make people to not just listen to amazing talks, but let's take some form of action. So now, we have 2 years before this, in 2014, I quit my job with my co-founder, and I told him, let's try this full time. And he's asking me, how the hell are we going to do that? How are we going to sustain ourselves by just inspiring people? And that's the toughie part, you know, for any entrepreneur out there is trying to figure out, because the fact that we have so much value created, and this value is intense, and you know, content is always king. What we keep producing from Incitement Talks is content, right? I think everyone would agree. If you're a marketing person, content is always king. So now the biggest Incitement is no longer Malaysia. It's actually in Italy. So if you go to cities like Milan, Rimini, Napoli, or Rome, they have little Incitement Talks everywhere, and they have national events. So now the community of Incitement has grown from movement-based to a social enterprise base. And again, how do we sustain ourselves? Simple. Audience who are inspired are craving for something where they can take some action. If it's personally or if it's helping the communities, we channel to social projects, to NGOs that are doing high impact value with sustainable framework. And now that even people are starting to ask me, how can I start something? And that's the best part. People are always asking us, can you help us? I want to help inspire the refugee kids on how can they empower themselves and self themselves. I want to help by trying to eradicate homeless issues, you know. And you know, when they ask us, I have no idea how to do that. I know I'm able to help you from A to B. So what I did was we look for people like Rajiv. We look people from people like Deborah Henry, who started this school called the Fuji School. People like from Kachara Soup Kitchen, people from Epic Homes. These are all we call them impact partners, and we channel them there. Just gonna fast forward a bit. So a lot of the people from Incitement around the world, they all want to start something. So we actually even provide that platform to help them to start something amazing. Like one of our best case studies is somebody wants to inspire refugee youth in Malaysia. And this project was called Incitement Growth, started by 2 audience from the stage, one from Sudan and one from Malaysia. And it was very simple. All they did was, I'll show the refugee kids how to use Khan Academy, Udemy, Linda, all these kind of tools that's already available where they can learn on themselves on their own time. But let's focus more on their soft skills, which is something that is not taught in universities and school. You guys agree with me? Yes or yes? Exactly. So that's the ultimate skill set that I believe all of us need as a human capital, to be able to sell themselves. So we taught them how to do public speaking. We taught them how to do, how to sell, how to pitch, how to communicate. These are some of the things that they have been traumatized the moment they arrive in Malaysia. You know, the way that we sometimes treat them is not really it's not so humanly. So again, a lot of them graduated, spoke at TEDx. A few of them are directors of their own NGO. A lot of them got scholarships to study in Turkey, because if you know Turkey, they're really supporting all the refugee issues. So again, we provide that platform, and this is all started because of one person who wanted to take action. And various on, we even have other projects like Incitement Youth, where now it's more focused in universities and so forth. And we even help tech startups who are not so good at pitching. We even have our own little cool Toastmaster-like platform where we help people how to sell, how to pitch, how to do public speaking. You know, public speaking is one of the most fearful thing to do after death. Did you guys know that? It's true. There's a study on that. And again, I wanted to help these guys who wanted to start something, right? So I just thought, let's have our own, workshop called Insightpreneurship. How can we help youth kick off from your idea to some kind of social project. You know, very MVP, very lean startup, but more on project-based. So I was like, you know, let's just do this. You know, let's just help these guys. So at the end of the day, you know, we had people who were coming in. A lot of them were just starters, graduated really, really well. Some of them went to expos, and this is just because we allowed them to be enablers. We are an enabler. We want to help you. And it just makes me, all of us here very proud to see how far they've gone. A lot of these guys have actually done amazing things, getting even funding, even get a lot of traction, and so forth. But this is not the whole point of this talk. This whole point is to give you a bit more perspective. And anyone has read this book, Abundance by Peter Diamandis? Raise your hand. Anyone likes to read? This is an amazing book by Peter Diamandis, who actually founded X Prize, which is actually helping our brother Izmir, who's launching our first rocket. Hopefully, I wish you all the best. So it's a book that talks about we are living in the most peaceful times of our lives. Do you believe that? We're living in the most peaceful times of our lives. We are no longer having world wars. There is no Cold War. Yes, there might be some conflict in the Middle East or in some part of other world, but it isn't as bad as if you compared it in the previous era, the past 10 decades. It's not the same. And he's saying, there's an issue here, but he's saying we shouldn't, he has this beautiful quote where he talks about how that we shouldn't be creating abundance by giving everybody the needs of luxury. We have to give the right means to everybody. That's literally what he's trying to say. And if you really look at the past 10 years, look at all these amazing companies that have been popping up because they're thriving through the age of abundance. People are more invested in innovation. And if you really think back, it's practically true because without any disruption from world wars or internal civil wars or conflict, these things will never thrive. So we have a lot of people focusing on tech these days, which is very, very much true. Tech, digital is the next big thing. So is touching. I guess. Sorry, not touching, sensors, augmented reality. Forget what I just said. So yeah, but you know, if I were to flip the coin, even though Peter says this is the most peaceful time, the most abundant time of our lives to thrive on innovation, there's also this other part of the world where we don't talk about a lot, which is, we're going to enter into Rajiv's world, pretty much. You know, where there's one quarter of our human population don't have access to electricity or lights. Can you guys tell me you can live without lights for 24 hours? Can you? No, right? It has become a necessity. So there's almost 2 billion people who don't have access to lights in this part of the world. In Malaysia, we still have this. Do you want to know what's the percentage? It's 1%. What's 1% of 30 million Malaysians? Math, come on. 300,000. So you have 300,000 Malaysians who still don't have access to lights. Water, Rajiv's world, like I said, you know, a lot of people still don't have access to water, which he's already covered. Let's talk about toilets. Who can live without toilets per day? It's hard, right? So, but guess what? There's more smartphones than people who own toilets. So Digi, you'll be thriving on people who have smartphones. But jokes aside, this is really a crazy thing to hear this, that people still own more smartphones than toilets. Then let's not even talk about all these necessities. Let's talk about financial service, banking. Everyone owns a bank here, right? Yes or yes? Right. So, but again, nearly 3 billion people don't have that privilege. They go to loan sharks. They go into extra miles by doing illegal things just to get by through it. And there's none of that platform for them. So they don't have access at all if you compare to us. So literally, we're very privileged, guys. So, you know, and because life is short, I just want you to make sure that, you know, just be grateful of what you have. And if I were to focus on these guys, you know, there's about 4 billion people, you know, if I were to talk about business terms, there's 4 billion people that could be the market for social entrepreneurs because of these people. They don't have these access. And the other thing about, you know, people in Silicon Valley lately, or anywhere, even in Shanghai, or Singapore, you know, the people like Bill Gates or people who are, what's his name? never mind. But people who are on top, who have been there, they're looking for things where people are creating more things that really matter. But our young ones, even I talk to Malaysians in high school, they want to create the next Uber app, they want to create the next Tinder app, they want to create all this, all these kind of apps. Okay, cool, yeah. But look, there are more other important things, and we just didn't know how to, pivot them. And the only way to do that is to give them a piece of perspective. And people like Rajiv, people like us, people like social entrepreneurs out there who are trying to be more innovative and trying to get the buy-in from the public, we have crazy hurdles. We have a lot of challenges. And for me, there's only two things that I personally believe that there are two challenges that hinders Incitement and all our impact partners. One is collaboration and partnership. Why I'm saying this is there's a lot of people who are just trying to champion what they're good at, though our goals are the same. We're aligned, but they don't want you to be in the same field because they believe they want to pioneer things. So it complicates things, and it's difficult. It goes also in business terms. When you're in someone's turf, they don't want you to be there, and it's far more worse for us because everybody wants to be the hero. And that's the greatest challenge we are pretty much facing. And thank God, we're blessed with some other great partners. But a lot of people who don't know how to get there, who just started, they struggle with this. And the most messed up part, which I would say, which needs more emphasis, is law enforcement. Now, what I mean by this is there's not enough rule of law or policies that or support what we do. And I can tell you with one simple story, and you can pretty much relate this to any other scenarios that you've heard. There's this really amazing story. I wouldn't say amazing, it's very sad actually. A lot of NGOs building wells and roads for villagers in West Africa. And it's amazing, they give them access, right? So the only problem there is they don't have laws to protect them. So you would have people like these soldiers here, they'll be, lurking on women. And what do you do to women? What do? They follow them, they would harass them. Some cases they would rape them. What will the woman do? In their culture, it's way off the line to talk about they're getting raped. It's way off the line to say they're getting harassed. And there's no law to support them. And NGOs who are helping them out have trouble with this. So we don't have enough law enforcement to a lot of the amazing social projects that's going on out there. And this is the challenge that we face. But we hope to change that. We really hope to change that because even in this age of abundance, even though I've shared issues about water, we have people like Rajiv, man. And these guys over here who are actually solving these issues. I'm sorry I didn't put your logo up there, but but again there are other. But again, this is why our roles really matter. This is why even though there's 2.6 billion people who don't have toilets, you have this amazing technology, actually from Sweden. It's called P-Pupil. P-Pupil. You know how it works? It's a biodegradable plastic bag where you would do your doo-doo, and then you fertilize it and you plant. So as you crap, you plant. That's pretty much the concept. Very smart, right? Give a hand around for this one. And this is. So right now they have done almost 8 million of these plant and crap and plant. It's amazing. It's great for farmers, and this is what innovation is. That let's talk about the financial. Right, this is already covered. You have people like Muhammad Yunus who's doing that, and a few others who are leading this. So then comes to light. There's 1.6 billion people who don't have lights. I can talk about one amazing initiative called Liter of Light. Remember when I said there's only 1% of Malaysians who don't have lights, right? So collectively, right now, we've done nearly 300,000 solar lights around the world. So these lights are solar lights made out of a plastic bottle. Anyone has seen that viral video where they put this water bottle up in the roof? So yeah, that's called Liter of Light. Now we're in version 5. So version 5 is all about using solar and making it more cheaper, making it more durable. And when I saw this amazing initiative, I was like, Malaysia doesn't need this because we're pretty privileged, right? So, and I told you already that 1% of Malaysians don't have lights. And this is a big problem with me at that time. This is what we call mental block. I had a mental block saying, it's okay, it's only 1%. But unfortunately, it's not fair for me to say that because you know, this 1% are also voters. They're also citizens. You know, they need light just like us. So when I met the founder of Liter of Light Global, you know, we met in Amsterdam, he said, Zikry, 1% is easy for you to eradicate. In Philippines, we have 120 million people. We have 26% of people who don't have lights. So if Malaysia could be the forefront of solving this issue, eradicating it by 2020, that would be a freaking amazing achievement, right? Like we, together with the private sector, with the government, whoever wants to join arms to solve this, we actually eradicated this in Malaysia because it's easy. The others, they have this problem. So he looks at me as like, okay, brand together Incitement and your other impact partners to push this forward. So I'm like, okay, let's give it a try. So I thought maybe I could share a piece of video on one of these initiatives in Malaysia. Let's see.
Kehidupan sebelum lampu ni.
Kehidupan kami semasa lampu belum dipasang lagi memang cukup susah.
Kadang bila waktu malam mereka nak membaca ke mengulang kaji pelajaran agak rumit sikit lah pasal lampu tidak ada.
Anak-anak nak belajar pun susah, nak buat kerja yang bagi yang dewasa dan nak buat kerja di kampung kan susah juga.
Tak ada lampu langsung, guna api je rumah, hari guna api.
Jalan kami susah nak nampak gelap pada waktu malam.
Di rumah jiran pun rasa takut bila gelap.
Pada apa menyasar? Boleh baca, boleh makan semua, jadi ulang kaji pelajaran.
Selepas lampu dipasang, kira agak mudahlah sikit menjalankan kerja-kerja bagi orang dewasa dan juga anak-anak yang masih belajar.
Kita macam nak bergerak daripada rumah ke rumah kan, bertandang waktu malam tak jadi masalah. Tak payah nak tunggu bulan terang pasal lampu dah ada.
So, oh, someone did that for me. So, that was in Cameron Highland. There are 40 villages that had no access to lights in Cameron Highland. We all go there, have a pick your strawberries, you know, enjoy your tea plant. But no one knew about this, actually. Very few. And the only way we could do this is to create awareness. And that's why I link it back to Incitement Talks, because we want to create awareness through stories, compelling stories to inspire you and hopefully to take action because of issues like this. And as of now, in Malaysia alone, we've done 20 villages. One in Sabah, 19 in Cameron Highland, and more to come. And we've pretty much touched almost 3,000 lives in Malaysia. That's 1% of the 1% that don't have light. So, and that's within a year. Because, you know, imagine if you had more partners involved, more durable ways to innovate. We'll always keep innovating. Now what we're doing is, instead of giving you street lights, solar street lights, we're actually recycling kerosene lamps and turn them into solar lanterns. So now they can move around, you know? They don't have to bring the street light and just, you know, like that. But with the solar lanterns, they can move around. Now, and we even are building a house generator out of solar, all solar, because solar is an endless source of energy in the tropics. Yeah, so that was on the first build. And the video you saw was a year later. We took a video of them and they were thriving. I think the most beautiful scene I saw putting those lights is kids coming around the solar light, and they were not reading like, they were reading a comic book, you know, random comic book. Yeah, sure, it's not English or geometry book, but it's a comic book, so they can enjoy, you know. The powerful about this is there's more impact for the woman in the village. You know how it's a very sensitive for women to come out at night. It's dangerous. Giving them light, give them an extra 5 hours of doing more leg work if they need to, carrying, gathering woods for the fire. We teach them not to create bonfires. They have bonfires in the house. Can you believe that? They still have that. You can go and check them out. So again, the whole premises of our impact partners, and Incitement, we're not just here to have a feel-good factor. It's about the sustainability where we can create more economic opportunity for people like this to rise the country's economy, socially, culturally. And we teach them how the solar light works, how any kind of technology-related social projects work, so that they will understand holistically. And the best part is they get curious. When you're curious about something, you have this eager to learn it, wanting to learn, and that's the whole point. And then I had this aha moment. All right, I had this aha moment, all right, so we're doing amazing things by channeling our audience to social projects like Liter of Light, like all these other things I've mentioned. So why not, these other big technologies who also say they want to brand themselves as a brand that really cares about the planet, why not have them support these social projects? So I keep going back and, okay, well, there's a few more other social projects that we have. We're in 45 countries, that's a lot, and each country has their own impact partners. So why not we, match them? Why not we ask these big brands, hey, you want to brand yourself as a brand, as a company that does care about the planet? Why don't you look at these social projects where you want to join to advertise with? We package it nicely. The way we want to do things now is to reinvent the way we do CSR. We want to reinvent the way we do volunteerism. The way we do volunteering now with these projects, we actually we consult them and we tell them, you have to gamify it. A good example is with Liter of Light, you don't just come and do the light and go home. We actually track you. So a lot of people keep coming back. There's a checklist, so they keep checking this checklist. It's like, the more you learn, the more you grow, right? So we can tell you, oh, this guy is good at doing circuit stuff. So let's make him a solar engineer. And for you as a person, you feel like you're growing because it's already gamified. And that's the beauty about games. Anyone play games, right? Okay, so games, every time, and now they tell you to buy stuff. We don't tell you to buy stuff, okay? We just tell you to come and, give back to the community. So, and this is what we're gonna, pretty much launch. Whatever we've done offline, let's bring it online, because one thing to do best is to connect everybody who are aligned, all right? This eliminates a lot of the things that we weren't able to do. And right now we're gonna launch this next quarter to get this started. And again, for me, if you don't have a strong why in doing something, there's no way you can fail in the business of helping people. This is a very quote that my co-founder from Holland, actually, he's Dutch, told me, and it gave me like a bit of goosebumps, because everybody wants to help something. Every business is helping something. It's a service, right? It's what drives everybody as a consumer, as an economy. So for us, as a social business, this is how we're going to go forward with technology. We have 45 countries waiting for this, and there's a lot of opportunity here for everyone to come here as a project owner, as a brand like Digi, or even as you guys as audience. If you really want to make something happen, talk less and do a bit more. And to do a bit more is not by liking posts or sharing a comment. Get out there, talk to people like Rajiv, talk to people like any social projects you own, talk to them, get to know a bit more perspective. Because I can tell you, for me, what scares the most is because life is short, I don't know when I'm going to die, and I don't know when I'm ever going to solve real-world problems by myself, which I could never do that. I could only do with people, like-minded people who are with us, who are purpose-driven. So I invite all of you, at the end of the day, today, when you all party, I know there's a party, right? Which I'm going to miss out, I'm sorry. Even though you're going to party, but hopefully, I really hope you guys take the initiative to get to know more of the really real grassroots initiatives that's doing epic shit every single day to help someone's life a better person, a better community, and make Malaysia and the world a much more safer, harmonious world. So I'm inviting you to be one of the spark in the crowd, and yeah, and thank you guys. Thank you very much.